Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It's Monday, October 20th, getting your week started, getting the work week going. Let's go. If you've got a financial question or maybe something big that's going on in your life and it seems to touch something financial, get in touch with us. Go to jillonmoney.com, click the Contact Us button, which is in the upper right-hand corner. Write us a note. And if you would like to join us live on the air, check the box. Mark does everything else. He's so good. He does everything. Not just that, everything. He also manages the website, jillonmoney.com, where you can sign up for the free weekly newsletter. And if you're like me and Mark, you are probably a little nerdy and want to get a jump on any sort of tax and year-end financial planning. The IRS actually came out and said, oh, here's the new brackets. Here's the new standard deduction. It got me excited, Mark, for the end of the year. I can't believe it. We are so close. But this year, we're going to do something a little different. We are going to make sure that ahead of the year-end frenzy that you're likely to encounter, we are going to create our webinar actually a month earlier than usual. Wednesday, November 19th. We are going to do year-end tax and financial planning with Jana Davis. She's from Abacus Advisors. She was on the show. She was great. Everybody loved her. We're having her back. And you can join us if you are part of Jill on Money Live. That's where you have access to quarterly live webinars like the one in November and the entire back catalog of those webinars, bonus audio and video content. It's all for $45 for the next 12 months. That's what I'm excited about today. Yay. The next thing I'm excited about is to talk to Joe, who joins us from the Washington, D.C. area. Hello, Joe. Welcome to the program. What can we do for you?
Hi, Jill and Mark. Thanks for having me. My wife and I are going through some unsettled waters at the moment. We're both federal employees. My wife has been furloughed recently, and as things continue to progress, I'm on track to be furloughed in a week or two as well. In addition, we recently found out that my wife is pregnant. So we're just navigating a lot of change and wanted to have a check-in and see how we're doing and see how things might have to change for us in the future.
Let me tell you something. I can't do anything about the pregnancy. I had nothing to do with it. I just want to say you had everything to do with that. So, well, that's good news and bad news, right? So happy and wonderful, happy about the pregnancy. This is great. This is your first kid?
First child, yes.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about where things stand. Your wife being furloughed, no pay, but what was she earning before the furlough?
Yeah, so her salary currently sits at about $130,000.
Okay. And you're still working, and how much do you earn?
$150,000.
I know this is hard to even predict, but do you work in one of the areas where there have been talks of not just furlough, but cuts?
No, we both work in the defense area, so luckily we've been relatively insulated from all of that.
Okay. So in other words, this stinks in the short term, but you will get your back wages and you'll be back on track to continue working, right?
Hopefully. There's a question on whether I'll receive back wages based on how my funding works, but she should.
Ay, what a time. My goodness. Okay. So talk to us about the cash you have on hand right now to get through this period. Do you have some emergency savings?
Yeah, so we have $40,000 sitting in a high yield savings account and another $5,000 attached to our checking account for almost instant access if needed.
Okay. Any other assets not in retirement funds, but in non-retirement, whether it's a brokerage account or anything like that?
Yep, we have a small investment account that we started a few years ago that's grown pretty nicely for us. It's about $40,000.
And I presume because it's the last small group of years, there's a lot of gains embedded in that. Is that right?
Yeah, I tried splitting it between ETFs, and I put like 75% of the money into ETFs and 25 into like some fun stocks that I wanted to pick.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily one of my stocks launched on me, which was pretty nice.
Okay. But there's capital gains in this account, right?
Absolutely.
In other words, if we sold the whole thing, the 40, do you have an idea of what the cost basis of the 40 would be?
I think the cost basis is around 23,000 total.
Okay, great. Perfect. Do you guys rent or do you own right now?
We own.
What's your house worth?
Current value is about 540,000.
And you have a mortgage outstanding?
We do.
How much?
380,000 at 2.99%.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And that's a 30-year?
That is a 30-year.
Okay, got it. In your retirement accounts, tell me what's going on in those accounts right now.
Yep. So we both have TSPs.
Mm-hmm.
Cumulative, it's about $280,000
For both of you.
for both of us.
Uh-huh. Okay.
There's also an outstanding retirement account from when my wife worked for a nearby university for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
She was in the pension system that never vested
Mm-hmm.
because she left. That's a net 23,000.
And do you have any other accounts, Roth IRA that you opened or anything like that?
No, we don't have any of those.
Okay. How old are you guys?
I am 32 and my wife is about to turn 32.
I mean, you got great money saved. How long have you both been in the federal government?
So I've been in the federal government for 10 years now. And
Mhm.
then my wife has been in for 2 to 3. I forget her exact start date.
Are you a contractor or you're a government worker? In other words, I was just wondering, are you entitled to a pension?
Yes, we're both
Okay.
federal employees.
Okay, got it. Presuming if you stick around, you'll have a pension eventually.
Yes.
Okay. All right. What else am I missing in all of this? Anything? Do you have to take care of parents? Do you have siblings that you're worried about in addition to this young baby that's going to come around? Anyone else we should think about?
No parents at the moment. My parents seem to be pretty set. My wife's parents, mother seems to be set. So no problems there. We do have some outstanding student loans, a car loan, and a solar loan that we put on our house.
All right, let's do this in order. Car loan. What's remaining? What's the interest rate?
Remaining is 25,000 at 4.75%.
Okay. Solar loan.
That's currently at 15,000 at 9%, and that was put on the house this year. So we should get all the credits and rebates for that, which would be
What do you
nice.
get for that? You have are you going to get a chunk in terms of a tax credit back when you file? Is that what's going to happen probably?
Yeah, we'll receive 9,000 back as a tax credit.
Okay. All right. So you get some chunk of that. Okay. Now, what else did you say? Oh, student loans. Tell me the good, bad, and the ugly there.
The good is, I believe my student loans of $8,000 are on track to be forgiven in the next 3 to 6 months
Oh, great.
because of my time in the federal government.
Great.
Unfortunately, my wife, who's also sitting at $8,000, she's much farther off not being in the government for that long.
Right.
So we're looking at just paying that off eventually.
Okay. What's the interest rate on her loan?
3.875.
Okay. All right. So we don't have to do anything with this. Okay. Now, this is not bad. Nothing here scares me. The car loan is fairly new, or how long will this car loan last? 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, the car loan should be another 3 years, I believe.
So she has missed a one pay period, right?
We received a half paycheck for her.
Okay. Well, I guess better than nothing.
Better than nothing.
Okay. So the game plan should be batten down the hatches right now, right? We're not paying anything off. We're not doing anything. I mean, prior to the government shutting down, if you had come on the air and said, "How we doing?" I'm pretty sure I would have said, "This is great. Let's clean up this balance sheet," meaning let's clean up the car loan and the student loan. We would do all of that. Today, as you come on the air, it is not the same situation. So for as long as this government shutdown lasts, you are not making any extra payments on anything. We are looking at that cash to pay your bills. Do you have an idea what your monthly nut is?
Generally, it's somewhere in the $8,000 to $9,000 range.
Okay. What do you mean generally? Was it? But this month it's 14. I mean, is it really? It's 8 to 9.
Yeah, on average. Sometimes it creeps up. We look at it. We say, "Oh my gosh, we spent a lot of money," and then we cut back, and then it creeps up again.
Okay.
Kind of that cyclical nature.
Okay, so let's just pretend that we're going to say for the next month or two, there's going to be 10 grand a month for some reason. I don't know. Let's just say this is not going to last more than 2 months. I really don't think that's the case. All right, I don't. Now, what's the break the glass scenario? For right now, my break the glass scenario for you guys is we use your high yield savings to pay your bills. That's what it's there for. This is an emergency. It really is. If things, for some reason, if we're talking and it's the end of the year and the government's still closed, I think the question you have to ask yourself is, at what point do we think about invading the brokerage account? Because there is a part of me that does not want to bring you to zero in the high yield savings account. I really don't. So I think that you have, Mark, would you say 2 or 3 months runway for the high yield savings? I'm almost feeling like I want to sell some of this brokerage account money out, but I don't want to freak this man and his woman out about like paying extra taxes. At what point do you think we break in and make the decision to sell some of the assets in the brokerage account, pay the capital gains, and move on?
Yeah, I'm like you. I really don't want to take the high yield savings down to zero. So I would kind of like to keep 15 or 20,000 in there.
Yeah.
And if it gets to that point, then you go into the brokerage.
Yeah, that's kind of how that's kind of what I think. Now, remember, what is the downside of waiting? That I'm wrong and we're all wrong and the market starts to tank and you have now your 40,000 is really only 30,000 if we sell it out. So that's a possibility. There's a part of me that wants to take some of the money off the table right now, like just take an extra 10 grand out of the brokerage account, pay the capital gains, and don't look back. But you can roll the dice. That is completely up to you. If it were me, Mark, I don't know if you would do this. I would take half of the money from the brokerage account right now, and I would probably sell it and not reinvest it. And if I'm furloughed and I've made the wrong decision and the money comes sloshing back in, I would use that brokerage account money. I'd pay down the $6,000 that I won't be able to pay down from the solar loan. I would probably pay down the car loan and make that a month extra. And I'd beef up my savings anyway because I have a kid coming. So how do you feel about that, Joe? Do you want to be wimpy like me or you want to roll the dice?
I would like to find a happy medium between.
Mark, give him a happy medium.
I'm like you, Joe. I think if I was in Joe's shoes right now, I think I would immediately free up 20 grand in the brokerage account just to be safe. Worst case scenario, whoop-de-doo. At least I have it there if I need it.
Yeah, and you could use it to pay down the debt, which is also kind of great. If you don't want to be totally wimpy, you could do 10. Take 10 out. And then like you could say like, oh, you know what? 10 grand. If I want to immediately, I could just pay down that solar loan. And, again, if you're reemployed and everything's good, but, you can pay this down and you'll get your 9 grand back anyway at tax time. You'll have it. And now, I mean, who knows? Like there could be some new expenses coming up from this little baby. Like you have to decide like what's the prudent thing to do. I think that would be the prudent thing to do, but I understand your reluctance to do it. But I mean, otherwise you are in very good shape. I don't want you to feel like, I do think this is a short-term weird emergency. It is a bit of a break the glass scenario, but on the other hand, it does sound like you're going to get this money back eventually. I just don't want you to be frantic. How does your wife feel about this? Is she anxious about it? Is she cool about it? Like where's she living right now?
Yeah, she's much more anxious about it than I am. But
okay, wait a second. The woman who's carrying your child is anxious.
Yes.
Okay. So should we not address that?
We will address that.
Okay. I think that's the answer. The answer is at least take 10 grand out of the brokerage account and, sell the losers, sell some of the winner, and whatever's the most highest concentration. So you said you had one stock that really killed it.
Yeah.
Take it from that position, reduce that position, and just say, hey, I killed it. Let me take some of my winnings off the table. And let me let the woman carrying my child feel less stress. Doesn't that make sense?
Makes a lot of sense.
All right. That's good.
I almost feel like if you're a federal worker nowadays, like we always talk about the emergency fund, but it's even more important if you're a federal worker.
God,
Thank goodness he's got it.
And used to be, Joe, as I'm sure you've realized after being around this for 10 years, that it used to be like people were like, oh my God, this is like, I'm not going to make as much money in the private sector as the public sector, but I have consistency and there's no big drama. And now like there's drama every bunch of years. You already been through this 7 years ago, right?
Absolutely. It's been tumultuous for sure.
Oh, God. Well, one last thing. Your wife is early in her pregnancy. Does she have life insurance?
She does not. We were listening to one of your episodes earlier where you recommended getting some before the caller was pregnant. My plan was to, when open season comes around, kind of max out our work plan for her. available. And then when the child's born, reduce that and go find term.
I think that if you're in your first trimester or early, you can still get the term. You can just check that out go online and just check that out. But it's good to have extra insurance just during this period, especially if she is a nervous Nelly. It's a good thing. Anyway, beef up the insurance. Don't forget estate plan. You got a will and a power of attorney and a healthcare proxy. That should all happen before she gives birth, if you can believe it. You can always say like any child to be named. We can insert a name, but especially when you're going through anything medical, I like having the documents in place.
We will get that done.
All right, man. You're on your way. Good luck. I'm sorry. Mark, who would have thought to have 2 federal workers and you're like, there's risk there. Never would you have thought that. So for everyone looking for real life examples that this government shutdown and everything that is associated with it has a real life implication, here it is, Joe and his wife. If you are impacted by the shutdown or not, if you're just talking to your spouse and thinking about what's going to happen, when you're considering what happens with your work, if you've gotten pregnant, if something's like anything that's going on, get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com. Click the Contact Us button, write us a note. And of course, if you'd like to join us on the air, check the box. Mark will do everything else. You can subscribe to us on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your favorite podcast. Try to lift someone up. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.